Have you ever seen someone truly great sit on the floor with everyone else? No pride, no title, no distance, just presence. This is the story of a boy who taught an entire monastery what greatness really looks like. And the one person who learned the most was his own father. High in the Himalayas, where clouds touch stone temples and prayer flags whisper in the wind, stood an ancient monastery. Inside lived hundreds of monks, and above them all was the supreme monk, a man respected for his wisdom, discipline, and authority. When he walked through the halls, conversations softened. When he spoke, everyone listened. But very few knew that behind this respected leader lived a quiet, personal story. A small boy named Uddhav, an orphan brought into the monastery when he could barely walk. He was not the supreme monk's son by blood, but by heart he was. The monks often said, "One day this boy will inherit his place." But what they didn't know was that the boy had already inherited something far more important. Uddhav grew up differently. While other children in monasteries slowly grew used to privilege, Uddhav avoided it. He preferred cleaning the kitchen floor, carrying water buckets from the spring, arranging bowls before meals. Each morning before sunrise, he sat beside the novice monks, copying old scriptures by the dim light of a clay lamp. Not because he had to, because he wanted to. Sometimes the supreme monk would pause in the courtyard and watch him, half proud, half curious, but busy with leadership, meetings, seekers, and responsibilities. He never truly saw how deep the boy's humility had grown. Then the hall fell silent. At the door stood Uddhav, barefoot, wearing a plain cotton robe, holding no special plate, no sign of status. He walked inside, bowed deeply, and said gently, "May I sit with you today?" The monks looked at each other, unsure. Should they stand for him? Should they treat him differently? But Uddhav simply sat down, lifted the same bowl, ate the same food, and in that moment, something beautiful happened. The air relaxed, laughter returned, and the line between leader's son and common monk disappeared. That same night, when most monks had gone to sleep, angry voices were heard near the granary. Two monks were arguing over something very small, a missing portion of lentils for the next day's meal. But the argument was not about lentils. It was about old frustrations, old emotions, old ego. Uddhav walked toward them with a small oil lamp. He didn't interrupt. He didn't scold. He simply placed the lamp down and folded his hands. "Brothers," he said softly, "if the food is less, we will all share what remains." One monk was still angry. Uddhav looked at him calmly and said, "Let this be my mistake. Tomorrow I will wake early and help prepare more." There was silence, long silence, and slowly, the anger left the room. Both monks bowed their heads. In that dim granary, a child had done what elders could not. He ended a conflict, without power, only with humility. The next morning, the issue was brought before the supreme monk in the great hall. Rows of monks sat in silence. Uddhav stood quietly at the back. As the story was told, the supreme monk listened carefully, and for the first time, he saw his son clearly, not as a child, not as an heir, but as a teacher. He stood up from his seat, walked down the steps, placed both hands on Uddhav's shoulders and said, "I have spent my life studying wisdom, but last night my son practiced it." He turned to the monks and said, "This matter is closed, and the lesson is learned. Humility is the highest discipline, and compassion is the first rule of this monastery." That evening, the monks did not speak about rank. They did not speak about rules. They spoke about a boy who reminded them that true greatness does not sit on a high seat. It sits on the floor with everyone else. And in the heart of the supreme monk, there was quiet gratitude, because he finally understood. His son had already become everything he hoped to teach. Sometimes, The most powerful person in the room is the one who chooses to be the smallest.